As you know, it is no secret. These are stressful times. If you have someone who can relieve the stress, then you are truly blessed. And I am blessed with that person. Michelle Butler is here from Tupper Butler Law. And, you know, stressful times. So let's talk first of all before we get into exactly what you have to share with us. And I think it is positive news. Tell us about the three things. Welcome in. And tell us about the three things you really focus on, Michelle.
I focus on families who are to make a plan for either long-term care for their older age or their parents, for new families who want to be sure that their own children are taken care of in the event of an emergency, or any individual or other family who wants to be sure that their wishes are preserved and their hard earnings and estate that they develop throughout their life will be treated as they want.
Yeah, because I was articulating that you have a gift for them, because I think during a stressful time, let's say mom or dad is in an accident, and even if it's short term, you want to have your focus on the loved one. And if there are legal matters that are, you know, circling around you and keep you preoccupied, you're not able to do what you really want to do. That's where you come in, and you've experienced this. Michelle, for those who have never seen you on the show, tell them what you went through, the ordeal that you went through.
Yes, I have been a practicing attorney for about 15 years now. In February of 2017, my beloved father fell in his home by himself and suffered a catastrophic spinal cord injury that resulted in paralysis, and he became a quadriplegic. I then had to try to be his daughter. At the same time, I was learning how to be a caregiver and navigate the legal landscape of taking care of him without any idea what he would want or what kind of financial structures we had available to us, and it was just too many roles at one time.
So that's the gift I'm talking about, is you being able to focus on the health of your loved one. That's your father there, and by the way, he was an attorney as well, right?
He was actually a very prominent theologian.
Oh, okay, so when I see Tupper Butler Law,
yes,
it was in honor of.
It is in honor of, and I was Tupper Butler before simply becoming Butler, so the Tupper in me will never go away.
And you were a practicing attorney, very successful. I mean, I look at your resume, Michelle, it's very impressive, but you saw this void and this need because you went through that stressful situation, and when you relieve stress for these people, I would guess that they're very thankful. This is a good thing to do while your parents are healthy, correct?
It is much easier when you are healthy to be able to communicate these decisions, and I work with people to help them understand that first, this is not a difficult process in fact, that some of the questions and decisions to make can be difficult, but how much more difficult they are in a time of stress, it's incomparable. So I try to facilitate making those difficult decisions while people are healthy and able to communicate them. What they are doing then is protecting the people that they most love from having to make those decisions at a time that's most traumatic.
Yeah, because when you're under that kind of emotional stress, you can probably make bad decisions. So the time is now. Let's talk a little bit about the legal headaches that could possibly occur for those who don't take action early.
Well, if action's not put in place early, and for example, if my brother and I had not been available for my father after his accident, then if whatever he would have preferred with his own care would not have been followed. The doctor simply would have gone about whatever was necessary to preserve his life. Thankfully, after his initial accident, we were able to spend 3 years with him, and I made sure that he told me in every scenario. For example, he never wanted to have another tracheotomy, which he had at first, because he feared losing the ability to speak, which is always a possible consequence of that. So when he became ill earlier this year, we knew not to allow the doctors to trach him, and unlike prior decisions, this came without any fear of guilt or added trauma for ourselves, and we could just be there knowing we were giving him what he wanted, though he couldn't
Yes.
communicate it.
Yeah, so give your loved ones a say while they can,
Yes.
because there may come a time, unfortunately, when perhaps they don't have their voice, they can't speak what they want to tell you and the way they want to be treated and the processes that they want. How long does this process take, Michelle? Let's say that I want to bring mom or dad in to see you and we all want to discuss this. Is it 2, 3 sessions? How long does it take with you?
I typically spend about 3 to 4 meetings depending on the complexity of the issue. For families who simply want to begin putting together an estate plan and a basic way to protect their assets and their will, or a simple trust, or set up a guardianship for their child, then that's a fairly straightforward process, and in 2 to 3 meetings we can have those papers in place. I can do everything virtually. For longer term care needs, then that may take an extra meeting just to be sure that we go through all of the different details of what the older parent may want for a spouse or an adult child. The reason for that is if someone is designated, for example, to serve as a healthcare power of attorney or an agent to make any healthcare decisions in a time of crisis, without having those instructions, that can actually be a very traumatic role for a person to play. And I've worked with people who still, years later, have a great deal of guilt and worry that they made the wrong decision for their parent because they were given the authority, but they weren't given any instructions.
A lot of this sounds like peace of mind. So with about a minute remaining here, tell us, I hate to use this urgency, but I do think now is the time to make that call. So tell me about the difference between someone who is proactive and calls you and you're able, and then someone who maybe waits too late and they call you, the difference in the demeanor of the two.
Well, having been in both of those situations, I can speak personally to the agony, quite literally, of having to both figure out what to do at the time that you want to be with someone that you love, and you're in shock, your state of mind is not where it normally would be, as opposed to having something that you've gone through, you've put in place, and it's protected. The difference with my dad's passing recently, it just completely deburdened me, and I was able just to sit and be with him and hold his hand without worrying that we were having to make decisions without confidence.
And you can't put a price on that. You cannot put a price on it.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, well, again, it's Tupper Butler Law, and we encourage you to give Michelle Butler a call. The number is up on the screen. Give her a call today. It's simple, and when I say it's a gift because then you can put your focus, your emotions where they should be, rather than legal matters. So give Michelle Butler a call. Once again, someone who has experienced it. She not only talks the talk, she has walked the walk as well. All right, coming up, it's never too